Caleb's going to have to make a decision about his mom. His mom's probably going to die in his arms. You know,
Tale as old as time. Captain's Pod, Stardate 2423 16.2. Welcome aboard the Starship Enterprise, and thank you for joining us on our continuing voyages through the final frontier. I'm your Captain Ian Whittington, and with me as always, she always takes care of her mucus. It's Ambassador Deneé.
I'm really glad that you noticed that about me.
Yeah. Put it in a little
nice
jar.
to be seen.
Well, I mean, everybody can see it.
No, I don't put it in a jar.
Display.
I take care of it. There's a difference. I thought you meant like I put it into a handkerchief. I put it into a Kleenex and I throw it away.
You said handkerchief, I heard hermetically sealed jar.
How's that earwax build up there, buddy?
How are you doing this week, Ambassador?
Whoa.
Yeah, I got deep.
I just got real deep. I looked down at my lap. I thought, how am I doing? And then I thought, is this really the place for that question?
No, I really want something whimsical. I don't actually.
Right. That's exactly what I thought.
Can I tell you how I'm doing?
Is this like one of those moments when people ask a question because they don't really care what you have to say? They just want to hear themselves answer the question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How are you?
I'm really excited this week to just edit one episode of Captain's Pod.
Last week was a lot.
You listeners, unless for some reason you're only joining us for episode 3 of Starfleet Academy, you know that it was a 2 hour and 40 minute podcast for episode 1 and an hour and 40 minutes for episode 2 in 1 week.
Real talk, guys. Now,
was that too long?
Yes. Here's what you know about Ian and I. We have played around with the format of Captain's Pod regularly. We are on a journey of discovering our own show right along with you guys.
4 years in.
We fearlessly adapt. We change things. We flip things around because in order for us to continue to produce a podcast, we have to have some fluidity.
And we know that season 4 is when any Star Trek series really gets good. It's always in the 4th year.
Yeah. So we ran a diagnostic check on the last couple of episodes and how long it took. And honestly, it was really fun. It was fun to like really dive in. But we have decided, why not right here in episode 3, let's change our format a little bit.
I'm so scared. I don't like this.
We're going to try it out.
Change, Ambassador.
We're going to try it out.
Yeah.
So here's what's going to happen in this episode as a testing.
I may revolt. I may just not do it.
We're going to give a synopsis like we usually do, but instead of it just being my silly, quick synopsis, we're going to make it a little bit more detailed because we want the episode of Captain's Pod to reflect what happened during the Star Trek show that we're watching.
Wait, what?
And then after we do our more detailed synopsis of the Star Trek episode, we're going to break down our 3 favorite, most pivotal, most impactful moments that we really want to talk about. So there'll be 6 total, 3 from Ian, 3 from myself. And hopefully between all of that, we'll cover even more like of the in-depth stuff because we don't want to miss out on Ian being really pissed about Betazoid eyes.
I got some backup in the Discord as well. It's important. Like, and some arguments were brought up that maybe it's a genetic thing. And again, I say, I am fine whatever the answer is, as long as there is a deliberate answer. Anyway, by picking out the pivotal moments, we're going to have the same conversations. We're just really changing the delivery method of those conversations.
And as always, it's an experiment. We're an ever-flowing show. So if we don't like it, we will change it again. Yeah. So thanks for letting us try it out. We just wanted to give you a heads up on that because obviously it's the 3rd episode of the season and we have a lot of new listeners right now. So it's like, do you guys know what you're doing? No. I mean, yes.
I like that you thanked them when we gave them no input in this change.
Well, we're probably going to get input after we do it. Hopefully a lot of like, oh my God, thank you.
Let's go. It sucked before. It's tolerable now.
I've been just enduring your baloney this whole time.
Okay, Ambassador, this week's episode of Starfleet Academy is Vitus Reflux?
I'm really annoyed by that name.
Me too, because I don't know how to pronounce it. It's definitely
Latin. It just
Latin.
reminds me of acid reflux.
Yeah.
Which is not fun.
Give me a prediction.
Probably a lot of reflux happening. I'm guessing like someone's going to be like cat yakking. Like that kind of a thing?
I don't like any of that.
Cat
yakking. We haven't had any cat characters in real life yet.
Captain Kitty is a cat. We know she's a cat.
Yes, she has the personality of a cat.
I can't make any prediction based on the title because I don't know what it means, but I am going to make some predictions about, after watching episode 1 and 2, what I think might be happening in episode 3 or soon.
Okay, go for it.
I don't think they're going to be able to mention there being 2 academies and then not show us more about what that means.
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah.
So how pivotal the 2 sides are to the rest of the series, I don't like. We'll see what they have to say about that. But we have had...
Well, especially since his girlfriend is, kind of love interest is in the other side.
Yes. You mean Blue Eyes?
Shut up. She had brown eyes and it pissed me off.
Did she have brown eyes?
I'm pretty sure they were brown.
Yeah, they're very hazel, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, is hazel...
Hazel's a light brown.
Okay, anyway. Episode 1 was tried and true Star Trek. We're on a ship, we're in space, there's an adventure. Episode 2, we're now in the Academy, and here's some Academy stuff happening, and here's the introduction of some Betazoid characters that with exposition as to why they are here now. Episode 3, I think they're going to settle into more of what Academy life is supposed to feel like day to day. And then I'm just wondering how many episodes till we get back onto the ship and we go. But I think this episode will be another we are on the campus episode. And I am pretty sure we're going to see like kind of that thing where you're walking through the football field and you see the football team over in the corner. And it's like the one side versus them, and like all the jocks are like, hey, you and they're kind of beefing up, and then the other guys are like meh, and then like, oh, we'll see about that, like kind of that rivalry. I think
like
we're gonna
nerds
feel
versus jocks or jocks versus jocks.
No, I think it's more nerds versus jocks. I think that's the setup. If we see a fight scene, that would be amazing. I don't know if they're gonna push it that far because like to unite our crew against a common foe, that common foe is what in school, except for a rivalry of some kind.
Yeah, the bullies are a rival school.
And so the academy or the war academy's version, that has to be part of it. And maybe Hazel, we'll call her, will be
starts
the one that's just
brains.
Like, hey, we don't need to do that. Like, we don't have to be that way. She'll be the voice of reason that doesn't tip it over into a full-blown like battle or something. I don't know. I don't know that they can avoid that sort of juicy little common storytelling
the
trope.
Stereotype of the college thing. With Hazel, I'm going to predict that her like inhibitor gets knocked off and there's a big incident. Like because of that, someone is like hospitalized or possibly killed.
What if they go Gen Z and heads explode?
Yeah, right. That's it. Yeah. So when you said your emotions hurt people, I didn't think it was that. It's amazing.
And then the doctor shows up. He's like, we can fix it.
Yeah, he just said, what's the nature of that? Oh my God. So Vitus Reflux is Latin, of course. I did a quick look up. Vitus is poison, venom, something nasty. Reflux is to flow backwards. So it is the flowing backwards of a poison or venom or something nasty.
Oh, okay. Well, that shifts me straight into Hogwarts when they had to go into their like little botany class.
Yeah.
And then they pull up all the screaming children. You know, like there's just something that goes wrong with some weird plant.
Yeah.
Maybe it's both. I mean, my questions really are going to circle around the playing card nature of shuffling things and just like putting it all together. The cuts back and forth. Like, are they going to lean onto that storytelling for the whole season? Or is that just the momentum of episode 1 and 2 to kind of get people hooked? So I'm going to be watching the editing and I'm going to be watching, you know, the development of the characters. So
I'm really hoping we have almost something mundane. I don't need a disaster. I want Starfleet Academy life. I'm hoping they don't feel the need to inject some artificial, truly artificial conflict or disaster into it. I know you have to have conflict. You have to have something that drives the story. But I'm hoping that there are enough kind of like real life academy, college, university stories that you can pull from and put them in a sci-fi setting without going into the huge world building of rejoining the Federation that we did last week. I'm hoping it has the confidence to stay in the academy, so we will see.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. The confidence to stay in its lane, even though the temptation to pull in other elements from Star Trek land is going to be
and
really
this is me
tempting.
Going against like what my heart wants, which is to know everything about what the Federation is doing, what the Romulans are doing,
Show me
what
the
Klingons
wall.
are doing. Show me the bio wall. Show me what Discovery is doing right now. So this is me like curtailing that passion and zeroing in on Starfleet Academy. Like this is the opportunity to show us what the Academy is.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, with that, it's 2 to beam to the holodeck, and we'll watch the episode, and we'll see you all in 10 forward for a full debrief. To beam out.
A different type of debrief, but technically our new full debrief, a new version of this Captain's Pod brief. We're briefing you.
We already got beamed out. It's already we're gone. We're in the buffer.
Yeah, that was just didn't hear any of that. No. This is our private conversation in the buffer.
Yeah, this is happening right now. Yeah.
Can you tell me do I have food in my teeth?
Massive broccoli, but that might be because you're being turned into a broccoli. Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab something from the replicator. Apart from this week, because the replicators have been destroyed, and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode we just watched together. Most important question first.
I know. I mean, there's so much to want from the replicator.
We can't. Episode. They're destroyed, so we can't.
But only the ones in that area. There are others.
Okay, there are ones on the ship. Yeah, go
clothes.
on. What would you like?
I want the boots.
The clothes.
I want Caleb's hoodie that has like the little stripes on the arm, but then on the back hoodie. It has like the delta. That's sort of like. Did you see that?
The Athena delta, or is it a different delta?
What do you mean the Athena delta?
Well, the Athena has its own insignia thing. Like their comm badge is an outline of the Athena.
No, his hoodie, like whenever at the very end, he has this hoodie that he's wearing whenever he's chatting up with Captain Kitty.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah. I want that one.
Yeah.
How about the sports jacket?
All
I'll take that too.
Gear. Yeah. Every single piece of clothing.
Replicate me the costume. I'll wear that as well.
Let's go.
If this isn't a Halloween costume,
the Megatu one.
Oh, whatever the white one,
the
like a Yeti.
Yeah. The white Yeti was the Megatu, Gumato, and the and the lapling was the insect looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that Caleb wears.
Yeah, the Megatu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know what you're saying, but that's the one I want.
That one.
There's so much to want from this episode.
So much. Specifically, I want the transporter phaser. Because I don't know how you don't abuse that shit all day long. I could have watched Thok shoot transport Caleb on repeat. Like they
laughed so hard.
They didn't do that joke enough. That's the kind of joke that you do it once, it's funny. You do it 2, 3 times, nothing happens. You do it a 4th time, and it's hilarious. It gets funnier and funnier. If we do get the uniforms from Academy, they'll probably be cheap because it's getting review bombed out the arse by...
Oh, this episode in particular?
All of it. The entire
whole
series.
Show?
Basically the entire show.
Oh,
yeah.
So you've had a peek out on the internet.
I've had a peek onto the internet.
Is it a bit depressing?
It's as depressing as it ever is because it's hard to know... Well, it's not hard to know. It is a small vocal majority that are review bombing it, but then it's hard to see through what the fans actually think of it, because that doesn't by definition make it good either, just because it's getting review bombed. So it's hard to find out what the actual general consensus is. I think it's mixed, to say the least.
It is a little bit intimidating to do a podcast when a new show comes out, because you both want to like mention the fandom at large, or you want to have that conversation and welcome the general zeitgeist to the table.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's just me and you. Like, we're doing this show for us. And what we always say is that we would want to sit down and talk about what we watched no matter what. We're just recording it. And you guys are amazing to want to hear it. So I guess I don't want to be too intimidated to try to represent the overall feeling. I'm just going to share my own. And can we start off by saying I was so right about this episode?
Your predictions
Holy.
It honestly looks like you watched the episode.
I didn't.
I can't support you anymore. I can't.
What do you mean you can't support me?
Because you're clearly a time traveler. You're clearly cheating. There's no way that you're predicting this shit.
No.
It's insane.
No. My prediction was I didn't know it was going to be this episode, but I just wondered how long it was going to take for them to have a rivalry.
Long,
and
clearly. And we don't watch trailers. Like, I have seen the trailer, but Deneé definitely hasn't seen the trailer. Doesn't get any synopsis. But yeah, you predicted. And it really does get crazy. You predicted that there would be some kind of showdown eventually between the War Academy and crazy. Starfleet, which is, that's
this episode.
That is a pretty solid series prediction, because we talked about it last week and how I love the idea of introducing this War Academy because it removes the fighting from Starfleet and it gives Starfleet more credence as an arm of exploration rather than military boots on the ground, which has often been like, what is Starfleet? Like Strange New Worlds tried to say, are you colonizers? Are you diplomats? What are you? So I think separating them, I love that. And invariably, you're going to have them come head to head. What's crazy is you mentioning fucking plants and like there being a plant attack and like a Hogwarts style. They go to the Arboretum. It was so on the nose. So on the nose.
There are some times when I scare myself.
Yeah.
And whether you believe it or not, I had no fucking clue. So
wild.
Here we go. Like we said earlier, we're going to try to start kind of a new way of approaching these episodes with an overview first. So how do we approach this?
Give us a synopsis, Ambassador.
Okay. Well, my predictions came true. That's the synopsis.
Yeah. Go back to the predictions if you want the synopsis, because the Ambassador already did it.
I think the short version of this episode is that we have the introduction of this competition between the war school and the academy. We kind of see that the academy's marketing team has created the come to our school for
the recruitment
excellence.
video.
Yeah. And so the idea is that like Starfleet's on one side of the gymnasium. It's so crazy that this is exactly what I saw.
Share a
it's
gymnasium.
So insane. And then the War Academy is in their kind of more muted gear on the other side. And the whole episode is set up with this rivalry competition, whether it's the training or it's the
prank war.
What's it called? Oh my God, I need to get my notes up.
Calico?
Wait. It's not Calico.
Calica.
The Calico competition, which is kind of like a pretend war zone.
It's capture the flag.
With phasers.
No, it's not even capture
and
the flag.
drones.
It's
kill a guy, but not really. It's phaser. It's teaching. It's laser tag.
Yeah. It is laser tag, but with a set goal that you protect.
And
it's a payload thing.
Happy screams. It's not laser tag.
It's not laser tag.
And so the bulk of this episode is really just the juxtaposition, not only in the gymnasium, not only in Calica, but also in the pranking that apparently has gone back through the history of the academy, that there was always this sort of pranking element. And so that's the third part of the rivalry of this episode. They just don't have one rivalry. It's like in there.
There's so many. Like this episode was all about rivalries, and you have the internal rivalry between between Raimi and Genesis.
Kind of highlights the cracks in the shell of, we have to come together to do something. Is it going to be this team sport in Calica? Is it going to be, what are we wanting to do here? And how are the students that we're pretty familiar with at this point, like Jaden, the Klingon, the pacifist Klingon, how Happy interacts with all of this. And so we see them trying to kind of approach these various ways of fighting with the war team.
Yeah. And the heart of the episode is kind of what Nala says at the end, which is...
Nala?
Yeah, her actual name is Nala.
Who?
Chancellor Nala.
Oh, Captain Kitty?
Yeah, Captain
Kitty.
I
have no idea who you were talking about.
You went completely blank. You were gone.
Totally like, wait, who?
It is the difference between Starfleet and the War Academy and why they exist for different purposes. Starfleet and the Academy kind of having to prove itself, and the War Academy, who has been around consistently, saying we don't basically need Starfleet Academy, and if you want to share our turf, then you're going to have to prove that you're relevant and that you're needed. And yeah, highlighting that Starfleet leads with empathy and to stop wars, where the War Academy is there,
for war.
Kind of just accepting that war is a way of life and we need to be ready for it.
Peppered throughout this, as we said, are like certain elements of the personalities that kind of flare up. We see Raimi and Genesis's rivalry really kind of come center stage. We see the Chancellor Captain Kitty, kind of have an opportunity to show some of her range of diversity. She was actually kind of the humor relief of this episode. And we get to see Tignataro, Reno.
Yeah, Jet Reno.
And Thok,
yeah.
Really take center stage as the academic presence.
They're a couple.
They are a couple. We learned in this episode. I
love it.
And we also have Reno giving Raimi, who is the,
shapeshifter.
What did I call him last? Yeah, the ship. I called him the Transformer.
Yeah, the Transformer. Yeah.
Some really good advice.
Yeah.
So there's some heart in this one as well.
A lot of heart.
But mostly a lot of rivalry.
Mainly a lot of testosterone, it feels like. A lot of phallus measuring.
Yeah, the pie chart is very much the Pac-Man is rivalry, and then like the little mouth space is character development.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you want to do overall thoughts and feelings or just dive into your big moments?
My overall thoughts and feelings is I fully expected this episode to exist, so I wasn't surprised by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed it. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where I can kind of check out a little bit because I don't enjoy testosterone rivalry and different sides kind of egging each other on and the bravado of all of that, especially when it's happening the whole entire time. And the breaks in there were sort of like relationship with Caleb and Captain Kitty, or Caleb and Princess Hazel. And I'm just like
President daughter Hazel.
And so I wanted to kind of check out, but I'm still getting drawn into the show, and maybe I'm in the minority. I obviously am in the minority according to the internet.
No, not necessarily.
But I still really love the idea of an Academy of Starfleet and what it would look like, and I think that it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I liked this episode fine. It was okay. It did not anger me. It did not have me really irritated, but I didn't love it. It was fine. Like, it was completely fine. Dare I say, maybe forgettable. But I did at the top of the episode kind of say I wanted a bit of mundane. Like, there are room for episodes like this that don't do a huge amount, but are still pretty much a good ride along the way, and
this is what you wanted.
Say a little bit of something. So I'm okay. I'm not knocked off my feet, but when I was kind of reflecting back at the end of the episode, I was like, I'm still in a really good mood. Why is it? And I really like the characters.
I do too.
What they've done an extremely excellent job of, especially if I'm comparing this to Discovery, and I do like Discovery, is that I have this very clear idea of who each of these people are, even the ones that might be a bit cliche and stuff that we've seen before.
Sure, of course.
I still have a clear vision of each character. They all feel very lived in. They feel like people that exist. Everybody feels like they are taking the assignment seriously to get very Gen Alpha or whatever. And then at the end of it, that can bridge a huge gap for me. So I'm enjoying the world that I'm in, and I'm enjoying all of the characters. The story this week didn't do a huge amount for me, and that's where I reflected at the end, and I was like, that's fine, that's okay, as long as we don't have 10 of those, which we won't, because I loved episode 1.
Right.
But the characters themselves are enough to carry me through at the minute, and I'm really enjoying it. Nobody really is
failing the mission
to me, other than Raimi,
who's meant
and that's not his fault, because he's meant to be irritating for like that middle third of the episode. The Transformer guy who is suddenly like fight. Like, he was then written into a corner of, you got to be the bastard and annoying one here so that Genesis can have a moment so that you can come around.
That's the only moment
where I got like a little bit. You're just like, you've been injected with some script steroids to push this as far as you can.
I don't know that I agree with that, especially considering his backstory, but we'll get to that here in a little bit, because I definitely want to bring that up. Let me ask you something before we get into our big moments.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick one character, a new character, no teachers or anything like of the kids, the Academy kids, okay, that really worked for you in this episode, which one would you choose? I know which one mine is.
Genesis.
Happy. I had such a fun time with Photonic Happy in this episode. She cracked me up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine.
And she was so unique. Like,
is she?
Oh my gosh.
I feel like we've seen this character. I'm seeing Dustin from Stranger Things. I'm seeing just like the comic relief. I feel like I've seen this character a lot. So I'm enjoying her. She's not doing a huge amount.
This is why I'm so glad I don't watch a lot of TV and I don't watch a lot of movies, because I get to enjoy this character for what she is.
That's great. Yeah.
So Happy was my favorite.
I love it.
Hands down. And I kind of wondered if she was going to annoy me when I watched episode 1 and 2. But I'm relieved by her.
What did you love about her this week? So is it the relief that the slightly lighter tone? So like you said, she screams, "This is a laser tag!" And she brings some levity to each of the situations and like joy of being there.
Yeah, she's just, when she was just like, I don't have ribs. Like, it's just hilarious. Yeah. This stuff like that.
I can be permeable.
It reminds me of, like I've said this before, a little bit like Data. There's lines that only certain characters can deliver. And maybe, yes, there is that quirky character in a group person in all movies and all TV, sure. But making it someone that's a photonic and figuring out how to make her lines make sense for her. Like, I took a bath, like, because she was in the water.
Yeah, that was my first bath.
And just, I would like to stop the show and be like, oh my God, how are you feeling about your first bath?
Well,
like, you know what I mean? Because that's interesting. But then it just kind of
it.
keeps bowling forward. For me, I've seen a lot of pressure from parents' trauma before, and I've seen all these things before, but that if you can have a person that's, and I just looked up the person's name, it's Karis Brooks. The way that she's not really trying to take all the attention. She's just enjoying the moment. She's delivering her lines, and it did feel a little bit like the cast is sort of finding their footing with each other a bit in this episode, which is really fun.
Yeah, I really felt
they kind of gelled together for me. What was it about Genesis for you?
It's the actor more than the character. She's the one for me that feels really lived in. Like
Bella Shepherd.
Like, she knows who she is. Like, I just don't know. I get a real connection of her to the character that she's playing. Like, I buy her the most. I was a little bit frustrated with one of her reactions that we'll get to. The reaction to Jamie. I keep wanting to call him Jamie. Raimi. No, Raimi. It could just be that I like her type of character as well. The way that she led the team with intelligence, and still she was pissed off, but she still turned up, and then she had the backup plan. She was very much the underdog of the episode, even though she was like performing. The fact that she didn't get the captainship then made her the underdog. I just enjoy her presence. I really enjoy her presence in the show. She has like a confidence that's measured by not having the arrogance as well. So, for example, when Jaden says, I will not take part in this if there is violence, that's against everything about me, I'm not doing it. And she just says, respect that, moving on. Like, there's something refreshing about her where you expect her to almost be this mean girl character, and she's really not. Like, she really isn't the mean girl.
No. And they set that up from the start. She's sassy, she's witty, with catching Caleb in the room. And then
but she's really kind to people,
hilarious.
like Happy, Sam.
Yeah.
I can't keep using your nicknames, Deneé, because I think people rely on me to remind them who you're talking about.
Your responsibility is to be the one that knows the names.
Yes.
All right, let's transition to some of our top moments in this episode. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you go first.
Now, when I say top moment, I don't necessarily mean my favorites. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's kind of something that the show really focused on that I think we should probably dig into.
Yeah, the big things they were trying to do. I agree.
So one of the rivalries that's happening is this pranking element where the war team continues to prank the Starfleet. Their first big prank is to teleport them away from where they are and transport them in various degrees of undress around the school, which is so fun. I love that too.
Like the sudden, I'll be honest, a little bit anticlimactic that it was a prank. I was kind of hoping it was an alien invasion thing and they were being beamed away.
My first thought was that Starfleet Academy, you know how last time there was something wrong with the projector? I thought that there was another glitch happening somewhere. A glitch in that. I didn't even think about it being a prank.
My thought was that it was the lecturers doing it and like, surprise, this is like training course Gamma Alpha. Like, you've been beamed into this place with just your wits about you. All you've got is a bath towel. Now you have to get off of Mars. When
he first bamfed out, that was my thought. Yeah. And then whenever Caleb ends up inside a classroom with Tig's character,
Reno.
And when she's like, when she was surprised, I thought,
okay. Wait, nope, something else.
So something else. Maybe everything is glitching out. And then, it's the war has hacked into the system using their boss's codes to do so. So he gave them permission.
Exactly, him giving them the codes.
Which Captain Kitty goes and talks to him about. And this kind of kicks off that it's not just about who's doing the best in the gym or at this Calico match or whatever, Calico match. This is about how to prank somebody and not necessarily beat the shit out of them. And we have this like bravado of a lot of posturing in this episode.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of like marching across the space and puffing out your chest.
Hold me back.
Yeah. But the ultimate goal is just to prank somebody harder. And that's where I want to kind of set in, which is that the prank that wins the day is that they have taken the Academy is given this idea from Captain Kitty to take a plant, nurture it to grow, and throughout the show kind of gives hints. And there's this one particular moment when they're all in trouble and she says tip to tail, and she's doing this sort of like weird position in the chair and she's making eye contact. And even I sitting at home and thinking, she's trying to tell me something. I just don't know what it is.
She's doing it in Morse code. Watch her blink. She's blinking.
But she's giving her kids some clues as to how to outsmart the war school and the way that they outsmart that. But then it's up to her kids to figure out how to take her hints and turn them into an actual
take the initiative. Yeah.
Like mission that works.
Mm-hmm.
And the unfortunate part is this is only like the last few minutes of the show. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a bit is their win, because I think that's kind of one of the big beats of this is the Academy pulls off the best prank ever with this plant that is protected by
basically Federation law. It's an endangered species. So
they can't go in there and hack it down.
No.
They have to let it stay where it is until it fully matures, and they have to be nice to it because it'll become aggressive, I guess.
It'll slow down. Its growth slows down when it's around stress, and its growth improves when it's around empathy and calmness. And I don't think it's an endangered species. It's just like kind of quasi-sentient.
Okay.
So it's protected. And you can't move it until it's fully grown.
Right. So now it just lives in
the
war dorms.
Which is amazing.
Really funny. And it happens to be on the same day that...
It's like hiding a sandwich somewhere and like you're just stuck with the smell of mold and you don't know how to get to it.
As far as this episode goes, I wanted to know more about it. The quickness of getting to how it worked was just like this Mission Impossible-esque sort of like...
Oh, you mean the heist itself?
The heist part was really fun to watch. It was watching the team finally come together for a purpose. It wasn't using their brawn. It was using their, Starfleet intellect to like accomplish a goal. And I wish it had lasted longer.
Yeah, I wish it had ducked away from the... It's so beyond cliche. It's like gone to a different level. The describing... the heist as the heist is happening. So this is something that the Ocean's movies will do. Rick and Morty have done a send up of it. Basically every heist movie essentially does this, which is describing each element, but then it's actually happening in real time as well. So for that, it can be slick, but I never feel like I've experienced the heist because you were explaining to me what the heist is going to be, and by the time you finished explaining it, you're at the end of the heist because you've shown it to us. So you never get to live in it enough for me.
I think what I really enjoyed was at the point when this heist really kicks off, it's at a moment in the show towards the end. So a lot of the internal friend rivalry had begun its resolution.
Yeah.
Genesis and Transformer Boy.
Giant Raimi.
Have kind of squash their beef and they're all working together. And so when they're in the lab and they're growing eyeballs, or even Raimi getting the DNA for the eyeball, like that was really fun for me just to see
I agree.
This character that's been so frustrating.
It makes me want like a Star Trek Ocean's 11 TV show where they're just a series of heisting people. Like that would be really, that would be fun for me.
Yeah. And so in each person's kind of part and role that they did, Jaden, growing the eyeball on that little mat. I just zoom in more and show me that shit because that was really interesting to see. Did you notice that they said any body part that they could regrow?
Yeah, it's quite specific.
You didn't need to say any because everybody's like, oh, interesting.
Interesting. That's not where I thought that scene was going either. I thought because he's a shapeshifter, he could like get an imprint and then shapeshift into his eye.
But we don't know he's a shapeshifter.
Yeah, we
know he can shift into one particular shape, but we don't know if that's the only one.
And maybe that is the only form. Maybe that is his true form. Yeah. So we still don't know as much as we perhaps think.
And it's also fun because Caleb's got to wear a costume. And of course, that, Princess Hazel's going to know it's coming.
Oh, well, I love they did the empathy thing with her. I was like, yeah, I can sense it's you in there. I'm a telepath.
And that she also sounds the alarm while having a semi-genuine moment or a genuine moment.
It's genuine. Yeah, it is.
It feels very genuine between the two of them, where she's saying, hey, sorry, I didn't tell you that I was going to the school. But it kind of subverted the previous scene between the two of them, where she points out, very understandably so, that she doesn't owe him that information at all. And here's what I think might be annoying for a lot of audiences, is that these are young people, which means there's a level of stupidity in their decision making that those of us who are older are far enough removed from that we find it very annoying to watch.
Yeah, especially if you've seen it before quite a lot. Like, there's nothing really new about what's happening between them.
The bravado of Caleb being like, hey, you should have told me about this, and isn't there something between us? And then she's just calling it out like, you think that I'm supposed to feel like something towards you, and you think that being sassy is going to draw me to you, but that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, you'll wear down my defenses and I'll fall in love with you.
Yeah. And I was glad that they kind of put that in there, because there's a self-awareness in the writing. But then when we get to the heist moment and the princess catches him and sounds the alarm, I was like, what is she doing? It seems like she's suddenly kind of like drawing him in. So I think she used him to gain an advantage, a tactical advantage. So there might be some genuine like feelings there. We can see the alarm going off on her neck, literally. So it's there. But yeah, there's still part of me that's like, no, she's using his emotions to her tactical advantage. And I can't say I blame her.
Doesn't Jasmine do a similar thing in Aladdin? She sure does. Yeah, I was thinking about Jasmine and Aladdin, and the theme came back from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, it's
Can you hear it now?
No, I still didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it?
No, I still didn't hear it.
Then it wasn't there before. I could just do. Like, there's just that little trill there I can't get out of my brain.
So yeah, I kind of wanted to like focus on that particular part. This heist for me, the accelerated kind of it ended really, really quickly. It all happened really, really quickly, but it was still, I think, fun to watch.
So what you're saying, the bit that you really liked was the team coming together and their victory. Yeah.
And I'm hoping that is what episode 4 feels like, is that we're not going to go backwards and have an internal grossness between us. Like,
I mean, if there has to be conflict, let's make it new and let's make it believable. But it's really frustrating when you have like progress through an episode and then at the beginning of the next episode, they all hate each other again and we're back to square one. Like, I want to carry some of that camaraderie and, hey, look what we just went through and we worked well as a team. Let's not get back to jabbing so much. But I like that what's been consistent is Raimi and Caleb having that mutual respect and fight with each other as well. Like, I feel like they're being pretty consistent. I don't think they're making progress, but I kind of believe where they're at.
Okay, what's yours?
So my big one, and it's the one that, again, this isn't like a favorite thing, but it's the thing with the episode that I really connect with the most and that I like the most and wonder if they could have dove a bit deeper in. And it's the message from Nala, Chancellor Kitty, about what Starfleet is and Starfleet versus the War Academy. And that's what I feel like the core of the episode is. It's addressing the fact that there is a difference between Starfleet Academy and the War Academy. And while the War Academy was consistent during the burn and has basically been there throughout, because there was basically Earth became reclusive and created an Earth defense force essentially, and was just like, don't come near us, we have our army, leave us alone. Very, very secluded. I'm interested to see like so many like different species in this war college. Like, is that a recent thing, inviting other species in, or has the war college continued to be a little bit diverse as well? But I like this idea of the war college basically saying to Starfleet, you got to prove yourselves. Like, the Vulcan, flipping highlight the Vulcan in this episode.
His sassy remarks were so fun.
A sassy Vulcan is everything to me. He is so fun.
Because he's not lying. Like, his insult, like, your team has improved because they replaced you.
That line is so good. Your team found a strategy that works, replacing you. And his incredible line, which was, after the transporter stuff has happened, we did this because we could, and we will keep doing it because it's fun. Like, a sassy Vulcan that rides the line of being very serious and direct, but having a personality. Like, we had these Vulcans in the Deep Space Nine episode with the baseball, and they have that face-off. Like, I really enjoy this more, forgive me, human side of Vulcans, which can be a bit dickish. But yeah, they're saying, like, the War Academy has been here no matter what. Like, we have a purpose, and Starfleet Academy needs to prove why it's here, because you guys disappeared for a century for all intents and purposes. So we were fine for a century without you. And he says, like, are you too busy, like, weighing up the ethics of hurting the ground that you're running on? And it's just this, like, Starfleet is so concerned with, like, the Prime Directive and thinking about people's feelings. Can it actually take any action? Can it actually do anything without stepping on someone's toes and apologizing for it? So I really enjoyed the episode kind of highlighting the different perceptions of Starfleet, and Nala being at the heart of it, saying this is why we need Starfleet. Not to fight the wars, not to start the wars, but to use our brains, science, and empathy to finish wars and spend that time doing something more important as well. And you're here to learn. Like, I love that when Caleb is like, why didn't you just tell us the answer? Because it's a school, Caleb. Like, you're here to learn. So she is a
He's like, why does everything feel like a lesson?
Yeah, because it's a school, Caleb. She's an excellent Dumbledore. Like, she is we've made a lot of Harry Potter comparisons for obvious reasons. Not a surprise. But yeah, she's an excellent Dumbledore. And I just think if there's a message this episode is communicating that I really liked, is why do we need Starfleet? But I love the scene between her and Kelrick, because obviously with how he presents the tea and how she doesn't care, it's the two different sides of the military versus whatever Starfleet's representing. But she gets really serious with him. And it's like, you need to stop fucking around and stop underestimating these kids. Just because we aren't training to be soldiers doesn't mean they haven't been through some shit. Like, you don't own the monopoly on trauma. Like, they can have been through some hard times and still choose Starfleet. He is so, like, dogged in, if you want to defend the galaxy, you have to do it through the War College. So I really liked that, and the fact that both of them are behind the prank war, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is that way. I like that this episode further proves that the War School is the more prevailing dominant group. The way that Starfleet celebrates their single point after losing 3 back-to-back terribly is hysterical to me. They didn't win. They won 1 round, and they celebrated and watching that, like, hyper focus on the one thing that they did well. Like, as an audience, you're like, oh yay, my people won, but really, like, they didn't really, they got smashed.
They did.
But they were really having a good time with their win, and the War guys are like, yeah, you didn't win, and they don't have to prove that. And the War guys are like, also in the pranks, they're doing great. You know, they hack the security system and they remake the silly. Yeah, well, yeah, they teleport them. And then they hack the system. They get the footage of Starfleet just failing miserably during their Calica battle mission, and then they remake the Starfleet video with it. It's a pretty great prank, honestly. And really, it ends with Starfleet ultimately winning in the game of prank chess. But if you're looking at the scoreboard, it's pretty evident that this group of people who has been established here for so long, they're not wrong. Like, Starfleet needs to prove something to them and show what they've got before, to kind of earn their respect in a way. It's not like, oh, okay, the rich kids came home and so we all have to park out in the parking lot instead of in the garage. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this idea that they have to prove themselves, and they did prove themselves a little bit, but not a lot.
No, and what you mentioned about, like, just scoring the 1 point, there were a lot of similarities between Take Me Out to the Holosuite, the Deep Space Nine episode with the baseball, because they don't win that match either. The Vulcans destroy them, but they're cheering at the end because Nog does score a home run, and they're cheering and they're lifting Nog up, and the Vulcans are infuriated
that they're having fun.
Yeah, and I was like, "You're happy about this?" And Sisko's like, "Yep, gonna be happier."
Yep, bye.
So, and it's not about. Like, Nala doesn't care that they didn't win or did win the prank war or whatever. It's how they got there in the team building along the way, and doing it the Starfleet way rather than just They could have just beamed them all somewhere, or they could have zapped them all, but they used their brains and ingenuity to do it, which is more useful.
The next one for me is some character development with Raimi specifically. So one of the big highlights for me is the intense background that he has, just like kind of giving more understanding as to why this character is the way that this character is, because he certainly has some very annoying tendencies, some traits that, like you said earlier, that kind of put it on the writing, like the writing has written him into this screaming role. But what we learn is that from a very young age, he was raised to essentially be perfect and not make mistakes. And when he was young, while everyone else was trying to survive the burn, he was learning how to play an instrument. And there was this drive for perfection from his parents, so much so that when he played one wrong note, his parents left him. And we also learn with the talks with Jet Reno that his parents are not responding to any of his messages.
Ugh.
And from the beginning of this episode, it really does highlight he's getting up early, he's working out to be the very best. Now we find out that Genesis is doing the same, which is really fun.
Getting up even earlier.
Yeah, really, really great. And I kind of loved that we have two extremely ambitious people, but the camera's eye is on Raimi, who ends up becoming captain because he will do anything to become captain and kind of sacrifices his relationship with Genesis to do that. But his drive for Wynn, him screaming at his friends to do better, is all coming from an intense fear of failure. And while, yes, it's intense, of course it's going to come out in these high pressure situations where he has to perform at the highest level possible, not only for himself, but for the honor of his family and it was just a lot of drive. And what I loved about kind of seeing into this character is that he's an easy one for me to hate, because I don't have people in my life that are that driven and that angry and that filled with testosterone and drive. And like I'm not a sports girl. I don't, participate in sports. I don't go and sit in stands or anything like that. So it's a very different person for me to be around, whose driving force is success in a dominant way. And so to see one on screen, it's an easy character for me to be like, not interested. But the show is doing something with every character, I think, that kind of asks me to sort of stay a little bit longer and give him a little bit more of my time. And with Raimi, it started right away when he sacrificed himself to go out on the ship that first episode.
Yeah, it was before that. It was as soon as he turned his little blue face into the baby smiley thing. You're the little baby face that when he turns blue.
Oh,
it was right then.
That's what I'm saying.
He's so adorable.
Well, he has this little grin.
That's before the sacrifice is what I mean.
No, that
it makes him more interesting.
I'm saying he was saying, I will go out on the ship. I will sacrifice myself and go out on the ship.
Right, okay.
Yeah. That turn was like, they're doing something with this character that I didn't expect.
He's not Draco Malfoy.
Right. And then he helps with like folding up the sheets in the next episode.
That really hit me. I've got to process that a bit more.
Yeah,
why I love that so much.
It's like a service. It's an act of service.
That's what it is.
It's kind of like leaning down and washing someone's feet, because it literally is the foot of the bed. So, but he's doing this with like jabs and stuff. But, with Caleb and even with Genesis, they're not really unnerved by him. They're more like,
she gets pretty unnerved.
And in the lift, yes, but she also is like, I get it. Okay, I'm going to put up a wall. We're moving on. It doesn't become a thing. That carries very long episode to episode. The writers are kind of okay with doing something that you sort of expect and then subverting that. And I really appreciated that about this episode again with Raimi, because of course he comes around, he apologizes to Genesis, and he gives over his captain position. But what a really difficult thing to have to face with one of your teachers to say, I think there's something wrong with my communications. And she's like,
oof,
nope. And to hear,
they're getting the messages.
To hear someone say, and let me see if I can pull up some of what she said, because it was
I love it. I think it's pretty much burned into my brain.
Do you want to say it?
Yeah. If anybody that you're trying that hard to get a message back from isn't worth you worrying about them, essentially.
Well, it starts off with a teen with parental issues. Never before.
Never before.
So it's
there's
not
a lot of self-awareness in this show that it knows it's revisiting some tried ground.
Yeah, and this character's delivery, Jet being able to say these things, because it's how Tig gives the information. Her sass and her wit and her dry humor is it's just so nice to have it in a character.
I love how much they've let her be her. It's like she's writing her own lines.
Look, kid, any message you have to chase down does not deserve to be read.
Yeah.
And she gives a lot more kind of advice in this moment. By you, yeah. So we found out that Thok and Reno are a couple, and that, while it might seem a little out of place in that moment, she says, I left a starship on the edge of creation to be with her. This is what it means to show up for someone. Has anyone ever done that for you? And then she pivots into, are you showing up for someone that makes you furious? Someone that you've repeatedly overlooked? Someone named Genesis? It's a really great moment. But again, the reason it worked for me is just allowing myself to let Raimi become a more prismatic character with a lot of depth and believing those turns of emotion, like his face to camera, his big old baby face going, you know what? I don't want to hang out with that guy, but I can see his turmoil and I'm glad he's working on it. Kind of like Caleb.
Yeah. It was my next big thing as well, was framing the episode start to finish with Raimi's letters to his parents, which is interesting that at the end of the episode, he's still writing one. So this is almost like a diary that he's sending out now, but it has a purpose. It's going somewhere, but he knows there's a good chance it's not being read and probably won't be replied to. But I really like that because it just, like you said, it framed the episode for me, and it gave him depth beyond just having to be the best. Being the best also means like playing well with others as well. And that's a big part of Starfleet. It isn't the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors. Like, you're part of a crew. Like, that's really crucial on a starship. Yes, you can get to the top by jabbing Genesis and saying, hey, you've got some daddy issues. And then when she flips out, taking the points, but then you've pissed off your crew and they don't want to show up for you when the moment really counts. So I think they actually did a good job of showing where that background comes from, him working through it. You could say that's a lot of development in one episode, but I think it's the first step in a journey for him. And I'm here for it as well. I enjoyed it. The moment with Genesis, if anything, Genesis came off a little bit worse for me in that moment because she got really pissy about it. Cool, I get it. But he exposed a weakness. So there's a world where I'm just like, you should thank him because he won because you lost. Like, you would have tied with him or could have beaten him, but that vulnerability that you've got, he knew exactly where to jab you and he jabbed you hard and it had an effect. So I like that eventually she comes around, doesn't actually say, thank you for exposing a weakness, but I could kind of see that happening as well. So I think they both learned lessons in that moment.
So we both had that one. That's nice.
Yeah, we both had that one, which is really nice. And I like that he's not the character you think they would focus on in episode 3 as well. But yeah, I like that. And kind of, this is a side note, I really liked the music that he was listening to. I think the music in this show is really good.
It's fun.
I'm really, really enjoying it. It feels really fresh and kind of brave for Star Trek to do
more of a modern take.
Yeah. I love orchestral Star Trek, don't get me wrong. But the modern music inside of this, it feels, I can believe the 32nd century kids listening to this music. And maybe that's because I'm an old man now. I really, really enjoyed it. Don't understand why the skipping rope has to be green, but there we go. We have to have lights on everything because it's in the future. Honestly, they are my big moments. Like, I enjoyed the Calica match in the atrium, but it was also a bit of popcorn. The laser tag match was also a bit of popcorn. I like in the Calica match in the atrium that the brute force doesn't work. They end up having to, Genesis uses some intelligence by fogging up the landscape and scoring their point. So fine, cool. But we need a bit of action in this episode. I like the physics of the transporter gun. I really think that's fun, but it didn't kind of go far enough for me. I don't know. I think we could have spent more time on the heist. I think we could have make it a heist episode, because that's something that Star Trek does really well, is keep the format, but then play inside another genre.
Yeah, I think that we needed to have some action. And so this is kind of the action that we got. But the lift of explaining this competition to us and, you know, adding in the
lot of exposition, a lot of explaining in this
and then, you know, scoring the points and figuring it all out. I know what they're doing, and I think they're building a team. And it's a smart idea to have a simulation like this. But it would be kind of fun to see that maybe stretched over a couple of different episodes, maybe. Like maybe it takes a couple of episodes for them to figure out who it's going to be. But at the same time, I'm glad that it's over, and we'll see how it carries forward.
I think it served its purpose, to be honest.
But you're right. I had a fun time in it, but I was also confused. Like when Caleb jumps up and grabs the drone and tears it down, I'm like, fuck yeah. And then all of a sudden he's penalized for that.
Why did he get disqualified? It's literally one of my notes. Why did he get disqualified for taking out the drone? I don't understand. But I guess it might be because the goal is to get to the bell.
Yeah.
He's ignoring the goal and just destroying the tournament, destroying the apparatus, I guess.
Yeah. I am glad to see that they didn't make Caleb the captain, though. He very firmly is like, I'd rather not do this.
Yeah, I like that as well.
So they're kind of really finding the roles of these characters. We're not going to be seeing the Klingon doing this. Totally understandable. But he had a hilarious moment, too, where he had to be the diversion. And so everyone kind of is singing for me. Yeah. But I had the same kind of thoughts. It was a little lackluster, but it was also oddly fun to watch them going in and freaking out in these war things. It's like there's a moment when Genesis says to Caleb, they need you. And it sort of pans around and Happy's like licking something. And they're all, Raimi is flirting with someone. And they're kind of like not knowing how to take seriously the battle part of things. And Genesis is looking ahead saying, they need somebody who has actually battled to be part of a battle. Even though it's a team sport and it's kind of stupid, we do need this. And I do like also that there was a brief moment when Princess Hazel is saying that Caleb does like it. She continues to be that honest voice of Caleb's inner turmoil.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute.
You are having fun being part of a team. And we can kind of see that a little bit in this battleground where he's able to get out some of his actual ability and inspire the camaraderie with his team and accept his jacket at the end. And that's a really nice tie-in. And this game gives them the ability to do that because they're not going to take him out on a ship to a real battle. That doesn't make any sense. It has to be in this simulated environment. Yeah. So I'm not surprised to see it. I'm glad to see it.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more combat stuff because it is a part of Starfleet training. We do learn quite a bit about what happens at the Academy in TNG, and combat training is a big part of it. So it is a way to get the action quota into your episode. Let's talk quickly about Princess Hazel, Tarima, because I've thought exactly the same thing, is that's the romance stuff to one side. I love using her and her telepathic abilities to call out the thing that we know, which is you're suppressing it, but part of you really likes being part of a team, and part of you wants to be in Starfleet, and you're not going to admit it yet, because it's kind of calling out the trope as well. It's having the character like explain it, which makes it okay for the character, for Caleb to acknowledge it, because there's no point hiding it from a telepath. Like, she is reading you better than you can read yourself. So she is highlighting emotions that you may not have reconciled with yet. And it just kind of gives us all permission to enjoy being part of the team. He doesn't have to go away and hide in his room. Like you said, he can take the jersey, he can be part of the team. And again, the actor playing Caleb, Sandra Roster, just all charisma. His smile like just makes every scene work for me. I love it when a show is brave enough to let a main character be happy. Like, he doesn't have to be moody the entire time. He seems to be moody about the right stuff and then lets his charisma and fun come out.
I like that you're saying that because last episode you were pretty annoyed with them, I think. Weren't you? No?
Why was I annoyed? I may have been. Oh, I was annoyed last episode because he's not traumatized enough. That can still... I'm living in a dichotomy here where both things are true.
That's
I really
what I'm
like
saying.
This character, but he should, by paper, be way more traumatized than this.
This is where there's a part of me that wants to believe that, yes, he's been through a lot of trauma, but he is just walling it off and enjoying his life for the first time, sort of like an opportunity for childhood, and he's kind of embracing it. I wrote in my notes, just wait till your mom shows up at the very end of this episode, because it's kind of like, it has a feel good, this episode has kind of that feel good end, right?
Does.
Where the team is coming together, Caleb is laughing with Captain Kitty, and there's just sort of like a bond that we're seeing really begin. Captain Kitty and Caleb are back to back, and she's kind of nudging him jokingly, and he gets up and he leaves. And when Thok comes in, he goes to attention instead of being a sassy asshole. So he's like showing some growth, and I'm just like, yep, they're not going to let us live in that for very long, because they love to ruin characters. They love emotional trauma.
Yeah,
so
I have to break down some people.
That's not going to last.
Sometimes you have to burn them all down in a fire.
But I do, and I think I said this last episode too, I do believe that there can be a dynamic of the complexity of this character. I don't know that they're doing it on purpose, because I don't know that this character kind of like, or the person, the actor behind it, if they're compartmentalizing on purpose, or we're just seeing kind of someone finding his way through a character. It's working for me though. I don't mind it too much.
It's making me forget that he was a 6-year-old on the run for 15 years. Like, I'm still, specifically 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm like, fuck, dude. What were you for those years? Where were you? Who was with you? What were you doing? Like, that's really hard for me to get out of my brain. We almost kind of need a bit more detail about what was happening to him.
Yeah, I just, like I said last time, I fill in the blanks with what I think is true, and that is that the trauma is so deep, he's just compartmentalized his life, and he is just living in this reality, enjoying his replicator and his bed and his friends, and it's all going to come crashing down when his mom comes back.
Another, just to tie into that thought about the overall season-long thing, this is an episode. This is a standalone episode.
It is.
I love that. This is this is the Prank War episode.
I had that thought when I was mentioning extending something into 2, and I realized, no, I really do like that this is a standalone. Yeah, it feels nice.
It feels like a good balance between carrying themes forward, carrying characters forward, but also having this is a story that has a start, middle, and end to it as well. Just wanted to highlight that.
My next and last one is a highlight that I hinted at already.
Go on.
Which is Captain Kitty's unhinged but purposefully energetic presentation in this episode. It worked for me.
Holly Hunter is just a flipping star.
I really enjoyed it. There's something to be said about getting older, and there's this not give a fuckness that sort of grows and grows, because you have less and less time. If we're given time on this planet, and if we're going to make it into 100, let's just pretend.
Right.
The closer you get to it, you're like, I don't want to live my life for other people. I want to do what I want to do. And the fear of pleasing other people is replaced by the joy of being yourself and being accepted by people that choose to be around you when you are yourself. Captain Kitty isn't well into her I don't give a fuck days.
Yeah.
And she shows that by flinging herself over the couch and not wearing shoes and stirring her tea wrong and pressing buttons.
And Derek's like, I'd call you naive, but you've got 400 years on me. Like
300, and then she goes 305.
And like, he can't even, he respects that. He's like, I can't call you naive. This is coming from somewhere.
And it's her character, and how they're writing her character is a combination of educating children in a moment, educating the adults in a moment, attempting to stitch together a future that she knows is possible because she's seen it in the past. And her enthusiasm and even her irritation in this episode, when she gets irritated by the students and she's just like, growth, like she's just, which
so good.
Is also a clue about the plants.
Yes.
But this barely contained sort of chaos gives me permission to kind of breathe, or kind of go, this is a nice break from the children trauma that I'm watching, that I don't want to go back to high school. I don't want to go back to college. I don't want to go back to those days. I'm watching these guys live it out, but I'm finding other things to enjoy. And for her, I don't know, she was just demanding, dramatic. She was a little absurd at times. Like how she flops on the couch and just lays there like she's dead.
She's so slouched. Like when Thok is talking to her, she's like fully slouched down. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this sort of like, sorry, I couldn't tell you, Thok. And Thok's
she's being a good mentor to Thok as well.
know?
Like a good number one, like a commander, a second in command has stuff to learn. There's a reason they're not a captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love their exchange and the wrapping that up at the end.
It could come off as flippant and it could come off as disrespectful, but instead she's invested and she's present and she's wanting everything to work out for the good of all, while also outsmarting and outlasting literally in time and experience. But it's like the show is like serious, but it's also, and maybe a little bit traumatic, but it's not like super over the top when you have a character that's able to kind of do this.
There's a lightheartedness to this series that's what I'm kind of zeroing in on, that I love. The only other series we have in this time period is Discovery. And Discovery, I will say it again, I like Discovery, but it got in its own way by being very dark, very preachy, eventually having a good message, but there was a lot of overly written preachiness. This has such a lightheartedness that I didn't think it was going to be able to have. I didn't think it would be able to shake off the kind of seriousness of Discovery enough to be lighthearted. And I think that's the breath of fresh air that I'm really loving from this.
There's also something that I'm learning as I get older as well, which is, and watching my daughter going to school, for example, and things are so serious to her. It's all that exists.
Yeah, no, it is.
And being older is like, this is not all that life is about. And so Captain Kitty in this episode is also that reminder that like the kids are all taking everything so seriously, but there's so much more. And let's get through this and let's figure it out the next thing. But I don't believe for 1 second that Starfleet Academy is going to make the whole entire season about a rivalry. They're going to do exactly what we think they're going to do. There's going to be a rivalry. They're going to earn respect for each other. There's going to be a major disaster. Probably this enemy people are going to attack at some point in time, and they're all going to come together as one group.
More than likely,
they're going to save the day.
Yeah.
Caleb's going to have to make a decision about his mom. His mom's probably going to die in his arms. You know, like we're heading towards
old as time.
So I feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking the characters as we're getting there.
We have a tradition, and we keep going off topic. I don't know that we've actually made this podcast any tighter.
Shit.
But we have a tradition every Friday of going to Whataburger. I know what the destination is. I have a fun time getting there. Like, I'm not really worried if that is the ending, because I'm enjoying the journey so much.
The flavor.
So far, I really am genuinely enjoying how we're getting there.
I am too. And I think Captain Kitty in this episode is showing us that life that she can give.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I have just a couple of individual moments that I just want to point out.
You're already breaking the rules?
Well, just stuff that Ian wants to talk about.
Super rules. We can't break our own rules.
We can if we make them.
I know. I was being sassy.
Oh, so sassy.
Okay,
you Vulcan. I'm going to start calling you Barvey, which I found out I think is the Vulcan's name. Or it's either Barvey or Barvey. I never know what the apostrophe does. Barvey. The inhibitor changes color.
It does.
What do you think that is? Is it working for you? How do you like that as a thing that's happening with Princess Harley?
We're calling her Princess Hazel because her eyes are hazel, and you're confident they should be black. I believe you.
They should be black.
I believe you. I was so hoping that we were going to see some kind of eye change.
I almost stood up and walked over to the TV because I tricked myself into thinking it happened.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't happen. But it hasn't been fully removed yet.
No.
Why do you think it's happening? Is it because her emotions are overpowering the inhibitor, or she's choosing to turn it off so that she can use her powers?
No. I think it's showing some kind of an override, like that she's at a certain level and that she's getting out of control, and it's kind of like a, hey, you're in the red. I think it's an indicator. I don't think she's turning it off because I think when it comes off her neck is when it's off.
So you think she's revving the engine too hard and it's a warning?
Yeah. I think it's the engine heating up.
I can buy that. I can also buy that she's choosing for a moment to turn it off. So that she can open her mind and listen to Caleb.
I think it's when she is feeling emotions herself.
Yeah,
towards Caleb. Not necessarily wanting to use her powers, but she herself is starting to amp up.
I think that's more likely, but I think because that's what Caleb points out in the basketball court is, did I do that?
Redliner.
Did I do that?
Am I doing this?
I kind of want to subvert that. I was like, no, you didn't do that. I did that because I want to read you.
Yeah, I don't know. But if she takes that off and if her eyes turn black, I predict that you are going to go, yeah!
We need to be recording. We have to be recording when it happens. I knew it!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you remember when we used to record when we watched our episodes?
Well, it was a lot easier because this was when we weren't living together. And
we would watch it at the same time from different locations.
We would stay at our mics and watch the episode.
And
there was a
have
time
like
we were doing
clips.
it in the studio. Yeah, we'd have those little clips to hold on to. Yeah, that works really well for live.
Oh my gosh.
For new shows.
Yeah, you said you had a couple more things. What's your other thing?
I just wanted to get into like the Magato and Lapling thing as well.
Oh,
they are
the
both
mascots.
creatures that were not made up for Discovery. The Lapling has appeared, as far as I can remember, and the internet supports me, 2 episodes of TNG. They are a very rare species. When we first see them, I think this is the first one we see them in. Alexander visits them in like a school trip in the Enterprise, and they're the last 2 of the species, I believe, and they're being transported to a colony so that they can breed and be reintroduced, and the species can be saved. And Worf saves them. Not Worf. Riker saves them from a fire that happens, and he's just holding on to these 2 ridiculous Lapling, adorable things that are squeaking, and Alexander takes a liking to them. So again, cool animal critter to pick, because by the 32nd century, we can predict that there's enough of them now that they're a cougar, like they're a lion, they're something that represents a sports team. And Magatu is it's a ridiculous, silly monster from the original series. It could have been in our Monsters of Star Trek run. Super powerful, Yeti-like creature with a horn on it. And I think they mispronounce its name multiple times in the episode, like Magato, Gamatu, Gamuto, Matago. And they pop up again in Lower Decks as well. And I think the episode is called Magato, Matago, something like that. It's a play on getting the name wrong. So yeah, just two cool creatures to pick, and getting to dress up as them in what would have been the costume scene in the original series. Like, that Magatu costume may as well be what they used in the original series. Like, it is just a person in a fluffy suit. And it just kind of bent my brain a bit, because when you do an alien now, it's either CG if you're doing it on that level, or really, really detailed. But if you Google it for TOS, it's like, oh, that's somebody's fur coat that you just put on.
Let's come up with what we would have done if it wasn't going to be that.
Like, what animals they would have been?
Yeah, like let's think of another mascot. I mean, Tribble is my easy one.
Tribble and
just
Targs.
A gigantic Tribble.
Giant Tribble. I think
even a Gorn is mentioned in this episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
When did they mention a Gorn?
It was when the punishment was being handed out to the students, and Jet was like, Throck thought about burying you up to your necks and releasing baby Gorn, but we couldn't get that approved quick enough. Did you remember that?
Missed it completely.
Oh, I wonder if I can find it, because I tried to write that down.
That's amazing.
Digging graves with the loser's eyes plucked out by a baby Gorn. Unfortunately, that wasn't cleared by the Alumni Association.
I love Jet so much. We're getting more of her now than we ever did in Discovery.
I love it so much.
She's so good.
But a Tribble would be fun, right? Like, it would be sort of hilarious. Just a
Too
gigantic.
adorable. I think the Targs, I like the Starfleet Targs would be great. Like,
which one's that?
It's a Klingon dog.
Oh,
basically,
okay.
Big thing. And I think it kind of looks like a warthog with lots and lots of fur and teeth.
Or like Spock's dog.
Oh, yes, fucking huge. Salat.
Yeah, we could do the Salat.
The Starfleet Salats.
Or we could do, just left my mind,
Horta?
No.
The Hortas?
Hold on a second. You said Horta, and all I can see is a carpet on wheels.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the mascot.
Like, how silly would that be? Just they're totally on the ground.
Yeah. That's a species that hasn't turned up.
Understandably so.
Not understandably so. Imagine a modern Horta.
Oh, man. I thought of one, and it totally left me.
I'm trying to think, who would it be that you would know? Spot? There's not many pets in Star Trek.
I remember you said Spot, and then I was back in TNG.
Yeah,
the salamanders.
This is from Voyager. The Starfleet salamanders.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The threshold salamanders.
Oh, God.
That's amazing. I've got 2 more points I just wanted to bring up.
You said 2 and now it's 4?
If you'll permit me just a couple I have a thought that I want to throw out to you. Will the War College try to recruit Caleb? Because he out-rope climbs their best person. They have an eye on him. Do you think they'll try and tempt him to switch sides?
I would not be surprised if they did. That would not surprise me. But I think his deal is with Starfleet, so it's kind of a moot point. If they brought that up at all, it would be kind of immediately like, well, that can't go anywhere because his agreement is.
Yeah, but I think he could pitch it to... I could see him pitching it to Captain Kitty. As this is what I really want to do. Like, I don't think she'd turn him down if he was passionate enough about it.
Imagine if it was like, Captain Kitty, I just want to go kill people. Please let me go to the War Council.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, Caleb, you need to learn about science, technology, engineering, and math. He's like, but I'm so good at killing people.
More math.
No. I know you can kill people. I found you in a place where you've killed many, many people. You've done that. You need to learn about diplomacy. No, Mom, I don't want to learn diplomacy. I want to murder. I don't see that playing out where she's going to be like, yeah, that's fine.
No, and but I think it would be a good way for him to unpack why he wants Starfleet versus the War Academy.
Because of friendship.
Yeah, that stuff. Yeah. Very last thought was the in memory of at the very end of the episode, Carla Mingiardi. Apologies if I get the name wrong. She's a really cool costume designer, did a lot of the costumes in Discovery, especially for the 32nd century aesthetic for the costumes. And she passed away from cancer in 2024. So just nice little...
Oh, at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they deliberately did that this episode because there were so many costumes in it. And you have like the New Jersey at the end as well. Like there is this... This was a very costume forward episode.
It was really cool. Yeah, it starts
very,
off
very
with
cool.
like a shot of Caleb's chaos side of his room and all the boots and stuff. And my notes are just like, I want those boots. I want those shoes.
Gym,
I want those clothes.
Everything in the gym. I want all of the workout gear.
I want that.
I need this. I need this Star Trek wardrobe so badly. Okay, Ambassador. That just leaves us with Pips.
Oh, I think this is another 3 for me.
This is a 3 for me as well. Yeah, this is 3 Pips.
I genuinely don't mind what I'm watching. And I don't know, I did see an interview with the person that plays Thok, Gina Yashir.
Yes.
Who didn't know anything about her character before taking it on.
That's great.
And is kind of learning about this. But the article just briefly touched on, I was looking for an article that had said that they had built the biggest set that they've ever built. And I was just kind of curious about that. But I guess I clicked on the wrong one because it was more about her not knowing a lot about the character. And there was a comment about the fan base being really upset about her being
a female Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, and we had talked about that. I'm just like, well, she could be a female Klingon with a male Jem'Hadar.
It's 800 years later, people. Come on.
There's so much that's there. And it just reminds me how there are some things that people just don't want to play with.
No, there is everything that certain people don't want to play with.
It's okay.
You can't touch
to
anything.
Change things, and it's okay to experience
it's
new things.
Interesting.
What they should be focusing on is how fantastic the characters are. And I don't know. I'm really excited about.
Guess what, people? It's all made up. It's all made up.
So when I give it 3 stars and I think about like, I'm just happened to glance over and saw that right now, as of the recording of this episode, this show is a 4.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
It's insane. It's pathetic.
And I'm like, okay. I wouldn't expect it to be that low, and maybe I should start going on to IMDb and sharing my opinion because I obviously, if I go by that, I'm in the minority.
I just got to shut it out because I would be giving it 8 stars to then try and artificially bump it up, and that's not my true opinion.
I just think that these are really fun characters and a beautiful set and a really interesting world, and I don't know what people are so upset about. So, but at the same time, hey, listener, if you are not enjoying it, that doesn't mean I don't want to know your opinion or that your opinion isn't valid either, but you're welcome to send your thoughts to us. Our email is iananddeneé@gmail.com. That's IANANDDENEE@gmail.com.
It's frustrating. It's this polarization thing. Discovery suffered with it as well. Being too woke, too progressive. It's super frustrating. What I want to hit home is that what I said at the top of this episode stands for me. It was fine. And it wasn't amazing, but that doesn't make it terrible either. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can just be a fine episode, and that's where I am with it. But it feels like it has to be hot garbage or the best thing that was ever made. And it makes it so impossible to exist when you have to be at one end of the spectrum or the other.
Just the bar for appreciating content, I think, is a bit skewed. But again, that's why I like that I haven't watched all the content, because I'm genuinely enjoying the show.
I really am. Me too. Genuinely am. Okay. Well, Deneé gave you the email address. If you would like this episode, some extra content, an ad-free version of it as well, no less, and you get it a day early, you can head over to the Ian and Deneé Patreon for $3 a month, which is less than a Mugatu costume. You can support us. You
can also find the link in the description to our Discord, and we would love to have your thoughts on the format of the show. Yes, maybe it wasn't shorter like we intended it to be, but are you okay with us not going linearly through the episode and rather sharing our highlights? We would love to know your thoughts. If you have them, we're going to continue to find the best rhythm that we can for creating the content that we love to create.
Next week's episode, we will surprisingly be covering Starfleet Academy episode 4, which is, you're going to hate this title, Ambassador. I can already feel it. Vox in Excelso. Before the Ambassador can react to another bit of Latin, we will see you next week. Go on, Ambassador. I can feel it bursting out of you.
That could have been the other mascot, the little worm guy that comes out of Riker, speaking of bursting out.
What little worm guy that comes out of Riker?
In TNG, he bursts out of his...
It didn't burst out of Riker.
So he burst out of some guy.
Oh, Rennick.
That poor guy.
Rennick?
I don't know.
No, Krennic is Star Wars. Remick, motherfucker, I was so close. Remick. Yeah, bursts out of Remick's body in Conspiracy.
That's the mascot.
That's the mascot. Yeah. The mascot with the worm we don't even have the name of.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Well, until next week, I'm Captain Ian, and it's they'll shenan once, they'll shenan again from me.
What?
Did you not get that line?
No.
That was Thok. She's talking about the students to Captain Kitty, and it's like, they'll shenan once, they'll shenan again. And she's like, well done, that was really good.
Shenanigan. I totally
they'll
missed it.
shenan again.
And I'm Kyle. It means Kyle from me.
Live long and Podsper.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Captain's Pod. If you'd like to get in touch with the podcast, you can send us an email to ian@iananddeneé.com. And if you want to support the show and get the episodes early, you can go to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/iananddeneé. If you want to catch the show live, we have those links down in the description for YouTube and Twitch. And then I think I'm supposed to close this hailing frequency, so bloop bloop, we're out.
Can we talk about what just happened?
Fucking hell. You know what? Things happen for a reason. We were meant to record the show right now. That's the only thing that we can take. Right? Let's not focus on us
on the fuck up.
Fucking forgetting shit that's important. Let's focus on the thing that we forgot is now opened up time for us to do Captain's Pod.
But to roll back, we are filling up the Jeep with some petroleum. And I casually just look at my phone, and it's 5:25, and it says 5:30, Lord of the Rings, at Alamo Drafthouse. Fuck! And we are 25 minutes away, and somehow...
they have a 10-minute late policy.
They have a 10-minute... Alamo are like...
They're like late goblins.
Extreme. They do not allow you to be late. Jen Dicer, Aaron's wife, has been removed from the cinema for arriving after the posted time. For real.
So awkward.
It was awkward and disruptive, which is what they're trying to avoid. Just annoying because we booked this a month ago. And
we missed it. We like to think we're so fucking smart, but we missed it.
Fuck. We fucked up the star date, Deneé.
We really did.
Good news is that the nice people at Alamo happily rebooked our tickets, so we will be going on another time. We will not miss the extended edition of Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
I'm very glad
cinema.
to be able to redirect it. Bad news, we have to take off half of a day of work to do it.
Okay, we have to figure that bit out.
We have to contact our bosses and say, hey, can we take off a half a day on Friday? Because turns out...
I was so fucking excited for this, Deneé. The last two movies that we've seen together in the cinema would be Back to the Future and The Lord of the Rings.
So we're going to make sure to cover as many bases as we think is important. Like, we're going to cover...
That's a sporting reference,
kind of quickly. Right? Or is it?
Bases? Yeah, covering the bases. Isn't that a baseball thing? All the baseball I know I learned in Star Trek.
You know more than I do. That's not true.
I bet you could name some baseball players.
Because I watched A League of Their Own. So technically, I have that baseball movie. And I don't even think that's baseball. I think that might be softball. I don't actually. Okay.
Is that the Tom Hanks one?
Never mind. I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It is. There's no crying in baseball.
Is it baseball?
Yeah, but that's what he says. I assume it's baseball.
I'm remembering that the throwing was like around and over. I thought it was like backwards.
It sounds
throwing.
like you're watching the Looney Tunes.
God. Anyway, clearly we shouldn't talk sports.
It's like hiding a sandwich somewhere and like you're just stuck with the smell of mold and you don't know how to get to it.
So this brings me to a real life story of senior pranks. Did you have senior pranks growing up?
No, in England there is a phrase in England, health and safety gone mad, and it is just there is no tolerance for pranks. Pranks just did not happen when I was at school, even at uni.
There are 4 pranks that I know of that are legendary growing up. In my school, in my high school, one of the classes before us disassembled a VW Beetle.
I've heard this one.
And put it over the roof into the, we had like a little atrium essentially that you couldn't access, and they reassembled it. That was one. 2.
I think Saved by the Bell did that one as well.
Number 2 was somebody had a farm, because this is in Missouri, and they brought a cow in and put it up on the 3rd floor of the building.
And cows don't go downstairs.
They don't like to go downstairs.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. Now, I wasn't at the school at this time, so that's just legend. I don't know if it's true. But the 3rd one I remember, which is that somebody put rotten eggs into the vents and they had to figure out where they were coming from. But the one that's my favorite is the one my dad did. And while he was in typing school, like part of and there was a typewriter, like the old school typewriters, not an electric one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he disassembled them bit by bit and hid them so that he didn't have to do the work, and they never figured out how he got that out.
So he killed a typewriter and then hid the body parts.
Okay, I know that we were teleporting, but I didn't expect you to fire a phaser to teleport me here. Rude.
I mean, it was from behind you as well, so you had no way of knowing until I turned up, phaser in hand.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's fair.